Hey everyone! So I have finally decided what I'm going to do with all of the bulbs that I grew in my containers this year, and so that's what we're going to do today. So I have bulbs in 3 of my 4 raised beds and then a couple containers for the ones that didn't rot over the winter and the spring, and I wasn't really sure what my plan was. So I had a few ideas in mind. One was just to leave them in the beds until the leaves yellowed, because that's necessary for the bulbs to recharge if there's going to be any chance of the tulips coming back again the following year. But that can take like 6 to 8 weeks, and I don't have the space to leave them in these beds for 6 to 8 weeks. Even trying to grow my other annuals around them, I just don't think that would work out. So the other thing I was planning to do was just treat them like annuals and toss them all. But then I asked on Instagram for other gardeners if they've ever cut off all the flowers, pulled the bulbs while the leaves are still green, and then replanted them, wait for the leaves to yellow, and then cut them back. And everyone said yes, that should work. So that is my plan for today. I'm basically gonna go dig up all the bulbs that I have in my garden, and I've already cut off all the flowers because the 80 and 90 degree temperatures destroyed them all. So flowers are gone. I'm going to dig up all the bulbs. I'm gonna bring them downstairs and plant them in the parkway, which here I call the parkway the area between the sidewalk and the street, so that hopefully, if any of them come back next year, I'll have a lot of tulips there when I walk out of the front door. So that is going to be the plan. So let's go ahead and get started with digging up all of these tulips. Let me quickly show you where the bulbs are that I'm going to be digging up. So I have 2 containers here of tulips, all the tulips here, tulips there, and tulips right over there. Now, I got impatient and wanted to plant my supertunias in the corners of this bed like I did last year. So I did already dig up the tulips that were growing in these corners a few days ago and moved those downstairs, and they're still alive. So I'm hoping that it goes just as smoothly with the rest of these tulips. So I'll show you what I'm doing with this container right here, and then we'll speed through the rest of these just to make it go a little bit faster. But basically I'm just using my hands, reaching down into the container until I feel the bulb, and then making sure I go under it so that I also get the root system. Now in this container, the only other thing I have are spring annuals, which I'm going to pull anyways, so I don't care about being a little bit rough with these. And I don't think, I mean, I have my supertunias, I have some straw flowers I planted, but I think they're far enough away from the other tulips that are currently in there that I don't have to be too delicate. But if you do have other plants around your tulips when you're trying this that you plan to leave in there and don't want to disturb the roots, just make sure to keep that in mind when you're kind of just reaching in and digging out the bulbs. So here I'm just going to dig my hands down. I can actually feel the bulbs in there, reach underneath, and this whole section is even coming up a little bit together. So here is what it's looking like. I'm just going to gently tease apart the roots, but now I have a bulb here with roots attached, another bulb with roots attached, and actually looks like there's some more growth on the bulb over here. So I'm just going to take these and I'm putting them in a cardboard box to transplant them downstairs. So I'll go ahead and just reach under here for the rest of these, gently tease them apart, into the box they go. Oh, I guess there were actually maybe 8 in here. I thought there were just 6. Okay, so those are out, and as you can see, the pot is very much destroyed. I'm actually just going to leave these in here for now, even though I will need to pull them, but I don't have anything to replace them yet, so I'd rather keep a little bit of color in there, even if it looks like a disheveled mess. So these 2 pots are now empty. Please excuse all of my drip irrigation mess, getting that set up soon. And then these are the tulips that were in those 2 pots that I will carry downstairs. So now I'm going to get to work on these 3 raised beds. The tulips are all out of the raised beds, and it feels weird but exciting because now I can fill them with my summer annuals. So this bed over here is now completely empty. Coming over here to this bed, there's some leaves that I broke off, although not too many. I think I only damaged 2 bulbs total, so I think that's pretty good. But in here I have 4 straw flowers that I started from seed inside. I promise I will actually show me planting the rest of my seedlings on video, but I just got really impatient and put those in the back there. And then this bed here is empty except for the super petunias. So I'll probably add in just compost and then of course biotone when I plant, but I mean the soil level is still pretty good. And then over here, well, mostly still just chaos, but here, here, and here are the bulbs that I'm now going to take downstairs. Okay, so it's time for me to carry these 3 boxes down. I'm going to attempt to do it in one trip. We'll see if I regret that. And then I'm going to plant them in the parkway, and then I will show you what it looks like. All of the tulips are now down in the parkway, and this larger space makes it look like barely any tulips. A few issues I ran into was just the roots from these 2 trees, so I couldn't dig everywhere I wanted. So I ended up just creating kind of a sweep of the tulips around the back. So I'll wait for these to yellow, and then I will cut the leaves back, and hopefully they come back next year. So that's going to be everything for this video. Now I can't say whether my plan has worked or not, and I won't really know until next year, but at least I'll be able to see this year kind of if the bulbs just completely die or if they turn yellow like normal and I trim off the leaves. But it is kind of nice thinking that I can use something up here and then transition it down to another part of the garden. And then my plan for this fall will be to plant some fresh bulbs up here, a lot more, and then if what I did worked this year, next year I'll just keep kind of moving the bulbs up here, down there into the parkway. So yeah, I will obviously keep you updated on how everything works out. If you've done something like this before, let me know how it's gone for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.